Inspiration for Teachers podcast, bringing you dynamic and inspirational educator interviews. Our fascinating guests share their professional challenges and creative resolutions for success. Discover their workable strategies, ideas, and resources to reach your educational goals. And now your host, Kelly Long.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Inspiration for Teachers. I'm your host Kelly Long and I thank you once again for joining me on this season of the show. I'm sure you've been enjoying this season, season 5. We've been exploring creativity and innovation. And we've learned some really important lessons from all of my expert guests that have joined me on the show. I'm going to dive into some of the key nuggets that we've learned in just a moment. But before we do, I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsors of the show. My Revision Pal is the online revision system for exam success. Many students struggle with revision, getting started, overcoming the mindset barriers, or even knowing what is an effective revision strategy. Students can learn how to pass their exams using My Revision Pal's online revision system. This 6-guided learning module program teaches students how to pass their exams using the 2 scientifically proven and most effective revision techniques. By the end of the program, students will feel more confident, be more focused, and will have the revision skills and systems in place to pass their exams. Right now, students can enroll for free and experience the first learning module. Head over to myrevisionpal.com, that's myrevisionpal.com, and sign up to experience your free trial. Most of our exams have come to an end, and as teachers, I'm sure you have put a considerable amount of effort into helping your students to get through those exams. So I applaud you. I know how challenging that can be. I've done it for my students this year and as part of the students that have actively participated in my online course, How to Pass Exams. Whilst we're all winding down and getting ready for our summer break, you can join the My Revision Pal Facebook group. Now, it's probably the last thing at the back of your mind right now, thinking about getting our students ready for their exams next year. But I'm going to be putting in there all of my resources and videos and helpful tips that students can use, teachers can use, and parents can learn some lessons from about how to help our students during this difficult time of revision. If you're interested in getting some free resources, some helpful tips and support about revision, please head over to facebook.com and search for the closed group, My Revision Pal. If you put in a request, I'll accept your request and then you can participate in our community. Just head over to facebook.com and search for My Revision Pal. So what have we learned on the season 5 of the Creativity and Innovation series? Well, I don't know about you, but I have found it completely mind-blowing, exploring with all of my expert guests what they do to enhance creativity for learning in their classrooms and also what they do across a whole school approach to support creativity and independent thinking of our students. I kicked the season off with an excellent expert guest, Andreas, on episode 87. Now, if you go to that episode, you'll hear that I can't quite say his surname correctly, and he had to drop that in for me. But we were looking at how to use poetry, art, and learning walks to enhance creativity for learning. And it was a really interesting way of looking at how you can teach your subject, but from a different point of view, and how we can use our body, poetry, to think really creatively about alternative different forms of learning. So that was a great way that we kicked the show off talking to Andreas. So please go back and listen to episode 87. And then on episode 88, I interviewed a former guest of the show, Joanne Miles. She was fantastic at looking at creativity and innovation in the classroom and really revealed how we can use a structured professional investigation around creativity for learning and some of the challenges that an institution can face in supporting teachers in this process. But if teachers are really passionate about creativity and innovation in the classroom, what steps they can take to explore that on a really deep level to not only help their professional development, but that of their students. Now, on episode 89, Bethan Bayes-Devine, she was fantastic at sharing with us the value and the impact of art therapy on challenging students. And she really looked at how we can use art therapy as a way of communicating to support our most challenged students and how we can use it to get them to open up about some of the things that are preventing them from moving forward in their learning and how we can look at it to reduce some of the barriers to their learning so that we can steer them onto a path of positive engagement and learning. Sarah Pavey on episode 90 of the show. looked at a creative whole school approach to learning with the library. And she specifically shared how we can utilise the library as a creative resource and encourage imagination to help our students pursue novel ideas. So we were really investigating there what the link and the relationship between the teacher and the library can do, and the librarian, in order to stimulate that novel and imaginative process that a student can do to present their work in a very different way and in a very creative way. I then hijacked the show, and then I revealed my ideas about the tools that we can use to unlock creativity and critical thinking in the classroom. So I specifically focused on, in episode 91, how to use the 6 thinking hats and the questions that really make them effective for creative and critical thinking. And then I moved on to a real passion of mine, which is how do we help our most disadvantaged pupils? And that was on episode 92. And I was looking at a creative whole school approach to supporting the attainment of our disadvantaged pupils. And I really discussed and delved into how you use a targeted approach to diminish the gap across the whole school, and the strategies and techniques that you can use from an intervention point of view, but from a whole strategic point of view, what a school can do to diminish that attainment gap. And then Dr. Alison Peers wrapped up the end of the season by looking at, and it was really mind-blowing, computational creativity, what artificial intelligence can teach us about creativity. And she was sharing with us the importance of computational creativity and the creative lessons we can learn from artificial intelligence, so we can then go on and build creative approaches to teaching and learning, and how we can really help students develop their creative thinking process. I really hope that you've taken some amazing tips away from all of my expert guests on the show. I learned so much, and it was really, really interesting and fascinating listening to all of the amazing ideas that all of my guests shared about creativity and innovation. So I'm sure there are some key nuggets of absolutely excellent professional development you can gain from listening to those episodes. So if this is the first episode that you've listened to of the Creativity and Innovation series, I wish you a great time in listening to all of the amazing knowledge that my expert guests have shared with me on the show this season. So as we wind down to the summer and we start thinking about our holiday plans and getting that well-earned rest, which we all deserved, and recharging our batteries ready for next year, what I would like to do is just wish you a really restful and relaxing time over the summer. I really hope you have the opportunity to invest in yourself and develop yourself in a positive way. And I really look forward to seeing you again on the next season of Inspiration for Teachers. Please do make sure that you stay in contact with me. You can either do that on Facebook, or you can find me at Inspiration4T on Twitter. That's Inspiration4T on Twitter. So have a great summer, and I look forward to bringing you the next season of Inspiration for Teachers.
Thank you for joining us today on Inspiration for Teachers. For more resources, tips and advice, visit our website, inspirationforteachers.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, we would love to connect with you. Just click like on our Facebook page at facebook.com/inspirationforteachers.